Now call the meeting of the Carter County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, pledge of allegiance. Oh God, thank you for the gift of this new day, and thank you for the blessings of this life. Family, friends, work, and purpose, guide us as we discuss, plan, and dream together. Help us to make wise and just decisions. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of written minutes. Tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held November 17th, 2022.
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning county business? Yes, sir. Please
Yeah,
state your
Robert-
name and.
Robert Sikorsky, I'm from Palmerton. On November 15th, I filed a right-to-know request to verify how my vote was counted, and that request was denied. And it says that there's no way that you can verify how you voted. I think that's wrong. I think we should be able to question, I mean, we're putting all our faith in a machine, and there's no way for us to verify how that machine counted the vote.
Yes. Next. Well, go ahead.
Well, as a technical matter, your vote is separated from your identity, so there's no way to reconcile that once the vote has been cast. So,
Yeah, but I had all the information. I had the number that I signed the sign-in book at, and I had the number of the ballot that I processed.
but again, to protect your anonymity, those cannot be reconciled once the vote is cast. There is no way to unbake that cake.
So we're putting our faith in whatever the machine says, whether it's right or wrong. We can't question if the machine made a mistake or not.
This is the established legal process for voting in Pennsylvania.
Any further questions?
That's it.
Okay. Any guests, other guests concerning county business? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Judy Williams, and I found out that there might be a new fund for blight money to help save the house on 206, 204 blight project. I'm asking you to go in and check onto that project and get information to see if money could be awarded to the house to save that family, 206 Center Avenue. For the amount of money the borough wants to have that project done, which there is no way we could come up with. Otherwise, the house will cave in soon, and the family will have to go out in the street. And there's no way for them to find a new home with a family of 5 and some pets. And they wanna stay here, and that's my mother's home. And we wanna save it. And that block is fixing up all their houses. And they decorate the houses if, like now, for Christmas and all, and they have to spend, so if you could go into that project and that home repair project program, I think it might be that grant. I'm not quite sure, cause I only glanced at the paper, it was given to me yesterday, and I don't understand it. So, would you consider digging more into that to help save it?
Judy, just so you know, we were just advised of the program the day before yesterday. Yesterday at about 10 o'clock in the morning, we reached out to the director, the program manager for the whole home repairs program. We courtesy copied the borough of Jim Thorpe on our correspondence, seeking, should we go ahead and apply for the money and receive the 1.046 and $437,000, if we could receive that, more than $1 million, could we potentially use it to help offset the costs of what the borough of Jim Thorpe is insisting that you, or actually your family, should bear at 206 Center Avenue. So we've already started that process. We're waiting for them to come back saying, yes, this would be an appropriate use for the funding, and then we can start discussion with the borough of Jim Thorpe.
Because it's a large amount of money they have, and we only went 60,000. And that's nothing to the money. So I would thank you, I guess, there's nothing more to say. Except
Just
thank
see
you.
how it plays out,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
Commissioner Lucas said that we just got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not, fully,
I just heard about it too,
Yeah.
so, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Once we find out more,
Appreciate
we'll
it.
do
Yeah.
what we can.
Yeah, and Judy, I'd just tell you, actually applying for the money doesn't even start till next week. There's a seminar, or webinar that we have of how to actually apply for it. But again, we have already.
Waiting is what we do. With the
Right.
borough, we've been waiting 7, 8
Yeah.
years
Yep,
with nothing getting done.
Mhm.
Putting a burden on us,
yeah.
and waiting is, we're used to it.
You know, Judy, what I'm gonna say, you're well aware of the advocacy that this Board of Commissioners has made on your behalf with the borough of Jim Thorpe for what I would call their less than appropriate, full and appropriate use of the blight money that they were given. You know, again, very unfortunate situation, but we have been extremely strong advocates for you, and I know you know that based on our personal
Well,
conversations,
that money, I know, was allocated for 204
you know.
in the beginning, and then they decided to split it among other things. But 204 was the reason for that.
It was, and the grant application clearly
Yeah.
shows that the
And
number
then
one
they
priority.
decided to share, so,
Yeah.
okay.
And I think all of us are all aware of that. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like,
we are.
it is, I mean, it's a thorn in our side, and they decided to put the money someplace else. And we're 100% on trying to help you out with this. And, it would be a terrible thing if they transferred that money to other buildings and don't use it.
And
That would be bad on my part for them.
Center Avenue is traveled a lot, it's state
Yeah.
highway. And everybody's fixing up their homes, new sidewalks, and they have to look at that blighted house.
You know,
And, there's an older couple next door, and that house will cave into the next house. And it's just an awful situation for the people who live up there and taking their value away from their homes. And it's not right to them up there. And if it caves in and my son has to go and nobody gets hurt, which I hope not, because there's nowhere for him to go today. There's nowhere. You can't rent, it's way up. They wanna stay in Jim Thorpe, and he bought a home. That's his home. He has a home. And now he has, you know, it's just awful what they're going through. And me, at my age, I'm not young. And I don't wanna say my age, but it's,
I know, right.
but anyway, if the banks won't give me a loan anyway, they know I won't live long enough to pay it off.
But I think a lot of consideration be taken. Yours is a little bit of a different situation. When there's blighted property, they might be single and taking them down. When they would take that blighted property down, you have no exterior wall.
Right,
So that has to be considered, you know.
I know,
Like that,
yeah.
I mean, that has to be an exception to the rule, for this situation.
I
So, but
understand.
we are working on it.
Okay, well, thank you then.
Any other guests concerning county business?
Hey Wayne, I don't know how to, just wanted to get this on, cause I don't know if you need to do something for the agenda for the adoption of the budget, had a misnumber in it. I must have gave Jen the wrong number. So actually the 22,624, the 53,165,898 should be 59,262,994. That 53 is the revenues, not the expenditures.
Want to repeat that again, Jeff?
59,262,994. I don't know if you need to make a motion to agenda yet.
Okay.
To amend the agenda or not,
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
sorry.
Okay, any other guests concerning county business? No? Hearing none, resolution?
Report of executive session, so?
Oops, sorry, push that there. We had one on Monday, November 28th at 11 a.m. Tuesday for personnel reasons, and Tuesday, November 29th at 9 a.m. for personnel. Okay, all right.
A resolution for adoption, resolution recommending Andy Mueller Jr., Chairman, CEO, Reading Blue Mountain and Northern Railroad be named as Railroader of the Year.
Motion to adopt resolution 22-033.
Second?
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, at this time I'll read the resolution, and unfortunately, Mr. Mueller cannot be here, but his daughter Tina is here, as well as Matt Johnson with the railroad. So, Tina, why don't you come up here and sit up here with us? Okay. Whereas for almost 2 decades, Andy Mueller Jr., Chairman and CEO, Reading, Blue Mountain, and Northern Railroad, and the County of Carbon have worked collaboratively to strengthen the economy of the county and heighten the borough of Jim Thorpe to national prominence as a tourist destination. Whereas in 1996, Andy's vision led him to acquire the Lehigh Middle Line segment of Conrail's Reading cluster that corresponded to the Carbon County, and negotiate a deal with the county as a sole rail operator to run trackage rights trains over its line, thereby connecting the Reading Blue Mountain Northern to its new Lehigh division. Whereas by the summer of 2002, Andy made a direct physical connection of his Reading and Lehigh divisions, bypassing the necessity to run on Norfolk Southern rails, thus securing the connection between his Reading division with the borough of Jim Thorpe and setting the foundation for a new era of regional passenger service and historical levels of tourism and growth. And
Whereas, to further his vision and commitment to efficient railroad operations in 2003, Andy leased and restored the rail service to abandoned railroad bridges over the Lehigh River. And whereas, in 2005, Andy connected all lines of the RBMN, resulting in the birth of the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway in May of that same year, running passenger coaches through the scenic Lehigh Gorge every weekend and holiday from May through December. And whereas, Andy, in relentless pursuit of excellence and expanding the magic of the railroad to citizens of all ages and throughout a broader geographical area, brought the famous number 245 steam engine back into passenger service in 2007, began offering family-friendly bike trains, constructed the Reading Outer Station, and increased RBMN's service to other communities, therefore exposing tens of thousands annually to the natural beauty of Carbon County and strengthening the local tourism industry. And whereas ridership on all passenger trains has increased more than 500% since 2009, growing from less than 40,000 in 2009 to over 225,000 in 21. And
Whereas in 2020-21, the County of Carbon entrusted Andy with the ownership of its 19-mile line, into which it has already invested millions of dollars in track and safety improvements to benefit the pedestrians, bicyclists, motorists, and railroads. Whereas Andy invested in the Carbon County continues unabated, having recently purchased a 10-acre, 9-building complex along the old county railroad line that it plans to transform into a hub for RBMN Mechanical's passenger department. Now as be it resolved, in the humble opinion of the Board of Commissioners of Carbon County, Mr. Andy Mueller Jr., Chairman, CEO of RBMN, is an invaluable asset to the county and who serves to this, the railroad community, is in keeping its traits, characteristics befitting of the title, Railroader of the Year, and do so encourage such consideration by the railway age, adopted by the Carbon County Board of Commissioners this first day of December 2022. Wayne Notstein, Rocky Horner, and Commissioner Lukasevich.
okay, Christine, at this time I'd like to present this resolution. We'll come up front here. entire railroad family for their cooperation on many projects. I know I talked to them before the meeting about a sidewalk project. We're getting there. It's taken some time, but we are getting there. And I really wish Sandy, unfortunately, he didn't get the Railroader of the Year, but
Yeah.
he was recognized and will be recognized in the Railway Age magazine. So
May issue.
the main issue. So it's quite an honor to work with Andy and the whole Reading and Blue Mountain Northern family. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
This was a wonderful letter. I really appreciate it.
Any comments, Matt?
Tina, let me mention, and I mean this in all sincerity, I think Andy recognized it as also through many communications through Wayne Michelle. I mean, Carbon County has been blessed with pioneers in railroading, right? We go back to Asa Packer,
Right.
Hazard, Josiah White. And then we had great individuals who kept railroading on life support, such as George Hart. But no question about it, while he may not have been selected Railroader of the Year for Railway Age magazine, I have no doubt in my mind, for the first 2 decades of the 21st century, he's the Railroader of the Year here in Carbon County, and we're extremely appreciative
Very
of
much
that.
appreciated. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. He's
Yeah.
my railroader of the year.
Right, I bet. Yeah, all right, good.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Okay, so we need a motion to amend the agenda as advertised.
So I'll make the motion to amend the agenda.
I'll second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Proposed 2023 budget. Motion to present the proposed 2023 operating funds budgets of estimated expenditures totaling $59,262. No,
Yeah.
$59,262,994. And make the budgets available for public inspection in the office of the County Commissioners, Carbon County Administration Building, Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, between the hours of 8:30 and 4:30 until December 22nd, 2022.
Move to adopt the modified motion.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Capital Project Funds, motion to present for public inspection the proposed 2023 capital project funds budgets of estimated expenditures totaling $9,598,825 and make the budgets available as stipulated above.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Special funds, motion to present for public inspection the proposed 2023 special funds budgets of estimated expenditures totaling $7,719,358 and make the budgets available as stipulated above.
Move to present for public inspection.
And I will make that motion also with a little discussion on it. I just want to explain everything, maybe to the public. I don't know, I think maybe they need some explanation that we are having a zero tax increase this year. And this is my quote, I guess. The answer is not to automatically go to the taxpayer's bank account, keeping the needs and eliminating the wants during the preparation of the 2023 budget was the key factor. Under capital projects, that's $9.6 million were budgeted that are coming out of the capital project fund. $5 million of that was for the courthouse, which was reduced throughout the year. That was from $6.9 million. We actually reduced that to $5 million that we're gonna allocate for that. The Children and Youth Project was $2.5 million that's in this budget. It was from last year, it was 3.1, but that's what's left over. We paid funds out of that for this year, so that budget is down to 2.5 million. The $1.2 million for the administration building, roof and HVAC, that is a set fee. We have that from Tremco, and if there's something that we might add on to it, that would be at our discretion and not at the contractor's discretion. We're gonna hold them at that 1.2 million, and there's $900,000 remaining for other capital projects, which we sort of have in mind. I mean, we have different things like the dog shelter to finish up and things like that. But I just have to say, I like that we got it down to zero. I don't think the taxpayers needed an extra fee this year. And I think pretty much that's in here. We've taken care of the wages, which we're gonna have next week. That'll be taken care of. But otherwise than that, I don't know what the other commissioners think, but I'm very happy with the zero tax increase.
I am very happy with the zero tax increase. However, last year, we had a fund deficit of over $2 million. Our health care has climbed at the prison by over 500, closer to $700,000 a year or more. This year's proposed budget is going into a deficit of an additional $3.8 million, really depleting a great deal of the fund balance. I'm not sure what the figure is, Jeff, of the fund balance we'll need to get from January till April when the taxes start coming in. I'm sure we'll be okay this year, but next year will be a serious issue. With the wages going up, contracts that have been approved already, just a small example of one of the many things that we run into here was the increase in maintenance fees for computer programs. Just in the comm center alone, $4,000 this coming year, 23, an additional $4,000 on top of that in 24, an additional $4,000 in 25. And almost every week, we have contracts to this nature that nothing but increases, and we cannot continue to spend down this fund balance like this. I don't want to get back to the years when I first started. Come January, we had to take out a tax anticipation note loan to get us till April. We have built up that fund for many reasons, building projects and other funds. If we have to go back to that next year, I think we're just no longer kicking a can down the road. We're kicking a barrel, and pretty soon it's gonna be a tank truck.
Okay.
It's really going down fast, and nobody wants to see a tax increase, but look at what's happening with our salaries, and rightfully so. And other issues, we don't know what's gonna happen. We have pending office moves that we are now looking for another place for our aging office. The Borough of Palmerton would like that facility. We have a good, deal there rent-wise, but we're not gonna get anything close to what we had in that deal there. We're looking at moving the Register of Will, the Clerk of Courts, and other offices. We have, just like last year when I mentioned when we didn't pass the budget, I voted against it. I thought we should have done at least $500,000, which is $750,000. Nobody wants to do it, but we can't keep funding down. And then we had the gas, the fuel costs. That's gonna be a huge impact to the taxpayers, and the reason for that fund deficit of $3.8 million. We can't keep doing that. We are in big trouble.
So maybe a little bit of a different perspective, but first and foremost, Commissioner Nosing, it'll be about $4.2 million is what we're gonna need to get us from January through May when tax revenue starts coming back in. And right now, on average, we'll have anywhere from 4.4 to $4.5 million, so that should not be a problem to cover it. In addition to the fact that there continues to be fat in our budget. Last year alone, we over budgeted, or the departments and rows over budgeted almost $800,000 in salaries. That's on top of over budgeting $1.3 million for operational. Now, I will tell you, funds get rolled over into the next year. There's no doubt about that. But there is fat there. Additionally, part of that $2.5 million that Commissioner Arner mentioned from, again, now this is capital funds, but that's all reimbursable from the state. And we're using ARPA funds to do that. So that ARPA funds can come back over into the general
And that's for
fund
the
because
year.
it's that
We'll
$10
get
million.
Right.
Right.
$998,000 we're gonna get.
Additional, so on July first, we'll get another 998, we already have the first tranche. So we're actually in pretty darn good shape. The fact is, the county has run an excessive carryover for many years. And now we're getting it down to a reasonable level, and I think we're right about there. I would also say, next year's an election year, right? So I would say, and I'll make the motion in January, that before that election, no later than no later than October 31st, the draft budget needs to be put on the table for the public to see. Because if we're gonna do a tax increase, let the voters go to the poll knowing that we're gonna implement a tax increase, or just the opposite. They need to know the state of the county, fiscally speaking, before they go to the polls in November. That's all I have. Oh, let me take one more point. So we're getting ready to go into salary board here in a few minutes. So we're hearing about costs. Let me tell you what's gonna happen. There's gonna be a motion to hire 3 new individuals, right? Commissioner Notstein's concerned about not so much this year, but next year. Well, that grant money that's gonna help pay for those positions this year starts disappearing next year, right? So we're not gonna take the action that's necessary, I suspect, to kind of quell the concerns that my colleague has. Let's see what happens in salary board. That's all I have.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
This is a draft.
Yes.
This is a draft. Yeah, this is a draft.
Did you say yes?
I said yes.
Yeah, we'll sort
I
it
think
out.
we should have that budget prepared by before May.
Well, I'm with you on that one too. I'll do that, let's get them to work,
Because,
yeah, I'm with
By the
you.
time we get to November. we
Oh,
might
yeah.
have candidates.
Jeff, forget about hunting.
Forewarning to the rows and department heads.
We'll postpone deer season next year. Okay, cool.
Department reports, budget transfers as listed on transmittal.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes,
Supplemental appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 74754 through 74774, and direct deposit check numbers 6047740 through 6048174 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $642,500.20. Payroll dated November 18th, 2022.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Approval of check numbers 23, 27, 37 through 23, 28, 31 for expenditures through the general fund clearing account as follows, totaling $313,351.06.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Approval of check numbers 23, 28, 32 through 23, 28, 93 for expenditures through the general fund clearing account as follows, totaling $5,759,940.18.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Treasurer's reports.
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes.
Recess for salary board?
Okay, at this time, we'll recess the weekly meeting of the commissioners, and we'll now call the monthly meeting of the salary board to order.
Approval of the minutes of the salary board meeting held November 3rd, 2022.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Siderchek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, are there any guests concerning salary board business at this time?
Report of executive sessions held.
November 28th, 2022 at 10:30 a.m.
Courts.
The motion that I'll be making in a moment pertaining to a grant that this court this county was provided by PCCD for $250,000. The reason for that grant, and I'm referring to this because Commissioner Lukasevich wants to bring the topic up, was for the employment of 2.5 probation officers. It's because it's necessary. It's because it was a competitive application in which very few counties got it. It took a while to convince these commissioners why that grant should be accepted. We had detailed discussions about it. Last week, the commissioners agreed to accept the grant, which I believe was a very beneficial thing on behalf of this county. The purpose of the grant, as I've indicated, is for pretrial services. Is to basically hope to streamline individuals who are in the criminal system, to have them evaluated early on, to see where they fit within guidelines, to direct them to treatment, to keep them out of prison, to make sure that those who go to prison receive the services they should in prison, and to basically complement and supplement getting people out of prison and into reentry. I thought we were beyond that, but apparently we are not. I say that because that's what these motions have to deal with that I'm going to make in a moment. The first is to establish the position of one part-time sentencing guideline technician at $17.87 per hour, which is a grade 10 step H, effective as of December 1st, 2022. The grant application, for the benefit of the board, had put in the salaries for each of these positions at $18 an hour. My understanding is, after discussions with the salary board, that this is the best that can be done. That's why I'm making the motion. I don't think the position should go vacant. I don't think it should be not created. I think it's important that we create it. What the implications are for the grant, because again, it's put in at $18 per hour, I don't know. That's a topic for your solicitor to explore. But that is my motion.
Second.
On discussion. So we just heard Commissioner Nostine mention concerns about future budget years. We'll get half the $250,000 this year, right? More or less.
Actually, the figure this year is $187,500 for the commissioner's benefit.
Right, then about another 80-some thousand the next year, so cut in
The
half.
second amount is $62,500 to be
All right.
specific.
So
It's
I
important to
state,
have information accurate.
so I state my previous position that I would not accept any new hires this coming year without an offset or abolishment of at least one full-time, a minimum of 2 comparable, to help keep costs down. We've had these positions that are being created. We've had the same position now really for 3 years. It's getting ready to be abolished here, matter of fact, today. And I'll hear excuses, there was COVID, we had turnover of individuals. But for 3 years, we had that position, and there's no proof that one individual was diverted. Not $1 of taxpayer money was saved because of that same position that we're getting ready to abolish today, because we had a term position. The fact is, what we're getting ready to do isn't a pilot program or proof of concept. This is a potential tax burden in perpetuity on the Carbon County taxpayer without any evidence in Carbon County that it lowers costs. It might have other benefits, but from a fiscal, it doesn't lower costs. And how do we know that? Well, I made mention previously. In 2020, we had 191 inmates, and we had $5.69 million prison budget. 2022, 148 inmates. We're just under $7 million. Take the per prisoner costs, it's skyrocketing. Matter of fact, that 191 to 148, I don't know if even one individual there that reduction was associated with any diversion. Something's happening that the population is going down. But from what I understand from the 3-year program we're getting ready to finish now, the only thing that was created was a partial database. Not one diversion, a partial database. All right, I can create a partial database in a couple hours. Right? Costs at the prison are fixed. We drop 50 individuals, it's not gonna make a difference. What you're paying to run that position or that prison is going to be the same. Additionally, right, Act 57 of 2020, the courts, to include its subordinate entities, continue to be in non-compliance with Act 57. Not only do they therefore then potentially not do appropriate vetting of employees, they have the possibility when these individuals leave, some of them who could have been disciplined, those receiving law enforcement agencies have no way to know of that potential issue with that individual who they're going to hire. So we're not only impacting Carbon County, we have the potential of impacting law enforcement agencies and entities all across this country because we don't want to have the courts, or the courts don't think they have to comply with Act 57 and be part of this database. The sheriff's part of that database. Why not the courts? Right? I read this grant application pretty much line by line now. The probation officer is already overtaxed. There's no doubt about it. Already overtaxed. So guess what happens when people are diverted from prison, right? They're still supervised. They're supervised by probation officers. So you think today you're getting 2 or 3 probation officers. If this is successful, which we would of course wish it would be and hope it would be, what's going to happen? In a year from now, 2 years from now, the courts are going to be coming back and saying, we need more probation officers. Again, from a fiscal perspective, this is not a good decision. That's all I have.
I think to differ on that, there's not just the cost of heating which is fixed, but also the water usage, the storage, and the other big one with those people are the health care of those individuals under our responsibility that only goes out. We also are providing services at the prison through MHDS, DNA, and many other sources. Our caseloads in this county are equal to 5th-class counties and maybe even higher in some others. We have an obligation to ensure that the services are provided. And if you have other recommendations on how we can reduce the population at the prison and keep these people coming back, I'm more than welcome your remarks or your comments.
Our team seems to be doing pretty well. We went from 191 to under 150, so something's being done right, be it out in the community or be it in programs that are out there. So success is happening. I hear the crime rate is going up, yet there's 50 less folks up in our prison. Seems like something's working. Let's figure out what's working. Let's put the resources towards what's working and not, which is not a proven concept, as we saw in the last 3 years here in Carbon County.
What Commissioner Lukasevich may be unaware of is that there has been an extremely aggressive drive by adult probation to get people out of prison on parole. That's one of the main reasons why people are getting out of prison right now and why the prison population has been reduced. Mr. Burke, when we had executive session, explained to this board how he has been working the position of basically re-entry that Commissioner Lukasevich is referring to. There's been a very aggressive stance on parole. Number 2, Commissioner Lukasevich has, I understand it, repeatedly brought up Act 57. He does it when I'm not in attendance. He does it when I'm not on the agenda and do not have an opportunity to respond. Today I have an opportunity to respond. And he's been told this before. So what I'm saying is now in public. I have explained to Commissioner Lukasevich on multiple occasions, not once, multiple occasions, that Act 57 is a very poorly drafted statute. There were a series of articles in the Morning Call, I believe about 6 or 9 months ago, in which it confirmed that Act 57 was poorly drafted. and that it was subject to various interpretations because of its ambiguity. There is a provision, and I wasn't prepared to discuss it today, so I think my memory is correct, which talks about law enforcement officials. And as I recall, it does not specifically define what a law enforcement official is. And so the question is, does a probation officer who is under the supervision of the court, is that a law enforcement official? I had consulted with the AOPC, which is the Administrative Office of Pennsylvania Courts. And they advised me that probation officers are not subject to Act 57. They are the specialists who, they were involved in basically conversations with the legislature on Act 57. There is either an officer, head, or a board created, I'm not sure which at the moment, who has issued guidelines and regulations. This is a specialty, the people who are actually enforcing Act 57. And they concluded that probation officers under the supervision of the court are not subject to Act 57. Commissioner Lukasiewicz, for whatever reason, is unwilling to accept that explanation. I am willing to accept there can be different interpretations of Act 57. I am not willing to accuse Commissioner Lukasiewicz of illegal conduct, which he has done to these courts. So, for whatever reason, Commissioner Lukasiewicz wants to bring this topic up time and time again. I believe the court is in compliance with Act 57. It will continue to be in compliance with Act 57. What Commissioner Lukasiewicz also apparently neglects to mention is that Act 57 has a number of requirements. Already, independent of Act 57, we are doing most of those things. There are one or two we are not. So the benefits of Act 57 have voluntarily been implemented by this court. I don't know what else to say about the current motion, but I wanted to respond at least to his comments on Act 57, because I think it's appropriate.
Well, we're still in discussion, so the previous solicitor staked a position on this for the Board of Commissioners. And so I'll continue to say that position was a correct position, that the courts are not in compliance with it. There's many things in life I don't have to do, but I do them because they're the right thing. And so there might be only a few little things that the courts aren't doing, but it's the right thing to do. It's the good thing to do for this county and for other law enforcement agencies across the country that may someday take on one of our dismissed personnel. And I do believe, and our solicitor has said nothing about that an adult probation officer is not considered a law enforcement officer in regards to Act 57. Never heard that before. Again, an interpretation. Is it a poorly written statute? I'm not a legislator. I can't say. But I know it's an easy thing to comply with. Doesn't take much. The sheriff's doing it. Counties across Pennsylvania are doing it. And they're doing the right thing. The easy right? It is indeed.
There are certain law enforcement that have no choice, the sheriff's office being one of those positions. As I indicated, it is discretionary with the courts. As I've indicated, we are complying voluntarily with most of the requirements of Act 57. In addition to having consulted with the ALPC, I had also consulted with our chief probation officer at that time, Mr. Parsons. And he had recommended that we not opt into it because it was a choice, either to opt in or not participate. And we chose not to participate. To my knowledge, we are not the only court in this state who does not participate. I am unaware of any safety danger that has been incurred because of that. We consistently do what I believe is the right thing. You may disagree and you may not have a complete understanding of what's all involved, Commissioner Lukasiewicz. You were not involved in the discussions. This is the first time I'm hearing that you say you have an opinion from your solicitor. I take it you're referring to the former solicitor from what you just said. That opinion has never been made available to to me, to look at it, to explain it, to see if I might change my position. As I've indicated, I have consulted with the AOPC. So I would ask at this time that I be provided a copy of that opinion. I see no reason why I should not be. You apparently are relying upon it. It's an opinion you got in the course of the county solicitor's position. I think it should be available to the court.
Well, I know
Is
you
there any
think,
reason, is there any reason it cannot be provided?
well, it is attorney-client privilege first and foremost. Should I decide to release it, provide that information, I will. But I'm sure you understand better than probably almost anyone here, attorney-client privilege of those conversations.
Well, it's nice to say you have an opinion
Yeah.
for the first time here without even disclosing the basically basis of the opinion. I've given you, and explained not just today, before, why we are in compliance. I've given you the reasoning, the rationale. I've told you that the agency who is responsible for enforcing Act 57, the quote specialist in the field, has interpreted that probation officers are not subject to his provisions. There is a general principle of law throughout this country that when you have agencies who are regulating certain subjects and topics, that you defer to them for the most part because of their specialty and expertise in that field. I'm sure your counsel is aware of that legal principle. We've gone to that agency. We've seen their guidance, their recommendation. So apparently, based upon what you say, the county solicitor has given you an opinion that's contrary to the recommendation of the very agency that enforces this statute.
Well, then if MPOETC, which is running the program, provided a legal position on adult probation, we were not provided that information.
Well, don't you think there's perhaps a deficiency then, which is why I've indicated, I know you don't want to release it, that's fine, but I could respond to it further. I'm responding as much as I can in the dark to an unshown opinion.
And likewise, I am now responding to an unknown position, simply taking your word that MPOETC has ruled, being the executive agency for the database, that they have determined that adult probation officers don't fall under the definition.
I've mentioned to you on numerous occasions, Commissioner, this is not the first time you're hearing it. To imply it is
It is the first time that you've said MPOETC, or the agency as you refer to it, I believe, because you haven't said MPOETC yet, but I'm assuming that is who you're referring to, since they are the executive agency for the database. So this is the first time we've heard that.
So maybe it would be important before making accusations of illegality, that something.
Of non-compliance. I said non-compliance.
There was conversations and remarks made that the court was acting illegally. So to change semantics now is a little disingenuous.
Okay. If non-compliance is illegality in regards to compliance with Act 57, then so be it. They're synonymous terms then, that's fine with me. I will tell you, the courts are not acting in the best interest of Carbon County and other law enforcement agencies. That's clear.
Well, it's clear to a closed mind perhaps. It's not clear to
Perhaps.
the people who are familiar with the situation, who are familiar with the subject, who are familiar with the law in the area.
That's it.
Can we move on to?
I'd like to move on. I had to respond.
Yeah, no,
to
fair
the
enough. I
accusation
understand.
here.
So,
Fair enough.
we'll get nowhere fast,
All right.
so let's call for the vote.
Yes,
Judge Nanovic?
yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yep.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
My second motion is to establish the position of one probation officer, one, pretrial services, at the prevailing AFSCME court-appointed professional employees union rate, effective as of December 1st, which is today, 2022.
Second.
Judge Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next motion is to establish the position of one probation officer, one, again, pretrial services, at the prevailing AFSCME court-appointed professional employees union rate, effective December 1st, 2022.
Second.
Mr. Nanovic?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yeah.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
I know there's another motion on my agenda. I do not intend to make that motion. I don't know why it was put on my agenda. I was not told that in advance of today's hearing. But I want to explain to you why I'm not going to make the motion, which I think we also discussed previously as well. The position that's sought to be abolished in that motion is a reentry specialist. My understanding is, at the time the position was created, it was created for a 3-year period. That is the term of the position. If I understand correctly, it's anticipated and expected, and under the current position, will expire in January, unless it were extended by subsequent motions of the salary board, which is not before us now. So it's already gonna expire. To abolish that position, to me, is overkill. Secondly, I was told at a recent salary board meeting that that position is funded by a grant. I truly don't know if it is or it isn't. I don't recall. It was 3 years ago. But if it is funded by a grant, I would not feel comfortable making a motion to abolish the position without first knowing if that motion could somehow be in violation of the grant terms. I do not have that information. I do not know that. I'm not gonna make a motion that I don't know that consequence. Thirdly, the position, as indicated, is one that's under the union, it's in the union. I don't wanna make a motion that might prompt a union grievance. I'm not saying it will, I don't know that it will. Again, I see no necessity for the motion, the reasons I've already stated. So I will not be making that motion.
I will make that motion on discussion.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay. For myself, this motion pertains to the other three. I think when we met with adult probation, I looked at this position, and not that there were excuses, but it was COVID, wages, employees leaving. Not that there wasn't any drive to make the position work, but it failed. So in my opinion, this has to go, and I'm in favor of the other three, because when you abolish something that doesn't work, you need something to replace it, because we do have to have services for people within the county, whoever they are. And that's where my opinion is, and I think we did a little bit of research into it. It was from a grant, it was supposed to expire in January, and I'm sitting on this, that whenever we abolished a job, we always abolished it 99% of the time. And I would rather be on the safe side to make sure it's abolished, because I think I see Wayne's and Chris's both views on it. But this is an extra cost to the county. We are adding 3 new jobs. So giving one up for 3 new ones, that, and I was explained to me that some of these are basically gonna do the same thing. And the job did not fail because of lack of trying, but my trade-off is this one job has to go for the other 3. And that was my intent, and I wish on the agenda, it would have been on the agenda first to be discussed instead of being at the end. And I think we have to start watching how we make our agendas up for salary board from now on, from January 1st. Because all this salary study that we went through, if we make one motion out of line, what we did for the last year working on the salaries, it will just be thrown out the window. But that is my point on this, and I'd like to vote on it. I don't want to pass it on till next week or whatever it is.
All right, so I'll go ahead. Are you making a motion to terminate discussion? Or are you gonna
No.
let Commissioner
No.
Notstein?
So we
No,
can't
we're
even
still
discuss
under
it. We can't even
discussion.
Yeah,
discuss
you
it.
can
We're
still
still under
discuss
discussion,
yet,
so-
but
Still
it's,
under.
My question
Unless
to
it
you,
turns-
Your Honor, is when do you plan on making an appointment that, effective then? Are you planning on appointing a person to fill that position at what point in time?
Which position are you talking about?
The one that we're talking about eliminating, the reentry specialist, when are you gonna, isn't that person going to be appointed to the probation officer pretrial services?
My discussions with Mr. Kimmel, who is our adult probation officer chief, is that based upon what Commissioner Lukasevich had indicated at some prior meetings, that there would likely not be an extension of the reentry position. And it's currently vacant because we've had a hard time getting people for that position. I hate to detour a little bit, but I disagree with Commissioner Arner in the sense that he's saying it's been ineffective and had no success. When we met with Mr. Berg present as well as Mr. Kimmel, I believe Mr. Berg's comment was, it's probably been about 85% accomplished, or was hoped to accomplish. So to ignore 85% to me is glossing over a result. And Mr. Berg indicated that he was the one who had backed up, as I indicated earlier in this meeting, with respect to parole, getting people on parole. Mr. Berg had been the basically slave driver, the working hard person to accomplish that. It's true, and I'm not disagreeing with Commissioner Arner, that there have been 3 individuals appointed to that position since its inception. COVID had some play in why it hasn't been filled entirely, but COVID can't be used for an excuse for 3 years. I'm not offering COVID as an excuse for 3 years. But my recollection is the first person who was appointed to the position, and this is not critical of motherhood in any way, became pregnant twice, and therefore had to take leaves. Another person who was in that office, a person by the name of Mr. Isles, who the commissioners may know about, was doing very well from everything I've heard. And it was hoped that he would stay there. Unfortunately, because of the pay salaries that this county has given, he could not afford financially to stay in the position. And therefore, he was offered a position somewhere else, and it was, how can you refuse it when you're giving those benefits? The third person is an individual who had been in probation down in North Carolina, transferred here, and unfortunately, she was in the position a short time, I believe only a month or 2, I don't want to be specific, but somewhere in that area, and it didn't work out, so we had to leave her go. So yes, the position is currently vacant. Getting back to Commissioner Wilson's question to the court. Mr. Kimmel has been interviewing to fill that position. He was not aware, nor was I recently, because time passes, that the position does expire in January. But Commissioner Lukasevich brought that to our attention, and I appreciate that. I was on, and it was in the salary board minutes, no question about it. So he's been interviewing for the position, and I told Mr. Kimmel that we should, those people we interview, we should tell them that it's not anticipated the position will be on January. But because there is some overlap, and it's not 100% overlap by any means, because we're talking about pretrial services in the 3 positions we spoke about earlier today, and we're talking about re-entry in the position that's about to expire. So one is at the incoming stream of criminal proceedings, the other is at the outgoing, the other end. But I told him that since there is some overlap, and since hopefully we will have these 3 positions, that yes, we should tell these individuals we're interviewing that if we accept them, that even though that position will be expiring, we would then transfer them over to one of these 2 new positions full-time. So that's the answer I have to your attorney.
I think that, the county process, the Board of Commissioners procedure is, salary board procedure is to establish, abolish. This simply, for no other reason, to keep everything clean, to keep the record, historical record straight, abolishment is an appropriate parliamentary action to take.
And like back to mine, I think when we had our discussion before, I think it was like, and I said, I don't want to say it failed, like you said, 85% worked. But this person, if we'd abolish it, this person would lose their job. And I didn't want that. But the way it was explained to me, this person's job that would be moved up to one of these 3 positions here is very similar to one that we're abolishing. So we would have somebody right on board to do this instead of stalling. We can't keep stalling all the time. This person can move right into that position, and then we got 2 more people to hire. And there's people that need help in Carbon County.
There's overlap, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to perhaps help you understand. Pre-trial means before trial, obviously. So that's getting people in when they first get charged, when they're first in the system. Is to evaluate them early on, and hopefully, in some circumstances, avoid them even having to go to prison as they're waiting trial. It's to help establish bail at the magistrate level, so that this information can be provided to the magistrate. It's all pre-trial. It's to have guidelines prepared, so that that's available not only to the magistrates, but to the judges of this county, to see what the prior criminal record of each of these people are, to see if they are a danger to society for other reasons, such as addictions or mental health issues, things of that nature. So help basically set bail, because maybe bail can be unsecured, meaning there's no need to have them post something just based on their past history. There may be others that it would show there's a reason to believe they're going to continue committing crime, and so bail is necessary, and they may have to go to prison. That's all pre-trial. Re-entry is after they are in prison. They've already gone through the system, they've been convicted, they're sentenced. And the question is how to get them out of prison safely as soon as possible. And that involves evaluation of them as well, and to see what their needs are, and to give them direction of where to go to get treatment. So yes, there's an umbrella of assessments that's covering both pretrial and reentry, but it's different ends of the process. So yes, there's overlap, but it's not identical. They do serve different functions, and reentry is an important part. As I've said at least twice, that is because of the reentry, the efforts of getting people out on parole as soon as possible, that is at least in part. I can't give you a dollar figure as Commissioner Lukasevich would like to hear. I can't tell you that. But it's to get them out of prison for their benefit, for their family's benefit, for the county's benefit. But it is two ends of a system.
Judge, do we know if that person is willing to take this other position?
I don't know at this point. I haven't spoken to it. I mean, this was only discussed, I think, within the past week, if I recall.
I see no reason why it's gonna go away anyway in January, but just to make sure this person, I don't even know if they were approached for this position or not, if they'd be willing to take it. And I just see no reason that we should abolish it at this point in time until that appointment is made. If it's made before January 5th, fine, we just don't fill it, it's going away anyway. Who's gonna take a job that's gonna expire in 2 or 3 weeks? So, that's my comment. Let's call for a vote.
Judge Nanovic?
No.
Mr. Surachek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
No.
Well, thank you very much. I think we had a good back and forth discussion. I hope I haven't offended anyone, that's not my intent. But I am glad that I was given an opportunity to at least reply to the issue on Act 57. Thank you. Have a
We all
good day.
both wait friends yet. Remember that, Roger.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, Recorder of Deeds. Change the rate of one Coordinator of Records Indexer from $11.38 per hour, grade 5, step A, to $11.72 per hour, grade 5, step B, effective December 20th, 2022.
Move to change the rate.
Second.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Sheriff?
Good morning. I have one motion this morning. Change the rate of one administrative assistant from $14.26 per hour, grade 9, step B, to $13.84 per hour, grade 9, step A, effective December 1st, 2022.
Move to, a second, yeah.
Second.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Building and Grounds, change the rate of one Operations Maintenance Director from $30.85 per hour, grade S9, step P, to $31.77 per hour, grade S9, step Q, effective December 16th, 2022.
Move to change the rate.
I'll second that.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Pocono County's Workforce Development Agency, changed the rate of one executive director from $24.34 per hour, grade S12, step C, to $25.01 per hour, grade S12, step D, effective December 24th, 2022.
Motion to change the rate?
Second.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, any further business for the salary board? Hearing none, meeting adjourned. I'll now reconvene the weekly meeting of the Carbon County Board of Commissioners.
Personnel report, county departments.
To approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Acknowledgements, courts, and row offices.
Motion acknowledged?
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence as listed, copies made available to the press upon request. Boards and authorities, Animal Shelter Advisory Commission, reappointment, 3-year term to expire 12/31/25. Dr. Dawn Morris, DMV.
Motion to reappoint?
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Conservation District, reappointment, Public Director for 4-year term, 12/31/26, Robin D. Kresley of Lehigh, Pennsylvania. And Commissioner Representative, 1-year term to 12/31/23, Wayne E. Notstein.
Motion to reappoint?
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, except for my appointment. Absolutely.
Housing Authority,
Should we take a load?
reappointment,
No.
5-year term to 12/31/27, William George, Apashikwa, PA.
Move to reappoint.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Parks and Recreation Commission, reappointment, 5-year term to 12/31/27, Fred Merluzzi, Lehigh, Pennsylvania.
Motion approved.
Second on discussion. Fred is doing a good job. He stepped in to fill a vacancy, to finish up a term. Again, though, I hold the position that the composition of the Parks and Recreation Commission does not reflect the composition of the utilizers, the users of Mock Chunk Lake Park. I would much prefer us to go back out and find an individual who's not, pardon the expression, an old white man like myself, maybe a woman with children, a father with children who uses the park in a different capacity. I think it would bring a different perspective that the current commission, and I simply attend those meetings for awareness for the Board of Commissioners. I think it would give a necessary different perspective to ensure that we're meeting the needs of the full demographic of the users of Mock Chunk Lake Park. That's all I have.
I might find a motion to table that. To table the motion.
I will second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
How many weeks?
You wanna
How
go
long you
do
okay
two,
with?
well,
Oh, I
2
didn't
weeks,
say,
like,
maybe
what is it,
just-
the 22nd, that would be right
When
now.
does it run out? Yeah, we gotta be
Yeah.
conscientious of it, the 31st.
yeah, and the reason I do that is, are we singling out an individual, or is there someone else that, would, be better replacing? I don't know, that's my concern for
Yeah.
now. Why I wanna look at the, makeup of the committee,
Yeah.
and, I'm not arguing the point that it'd be nice to have that, but I don't wanna just do it for the sake of, eliminating someone that hasn't even been on that long, going through these. In fact, I think Fred is filling out someone else's position.
He is, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and he's done a good job, he really has, Fred is good, has great
well,
input.
yeah, he's an outdoor person,
Yep,
et
he
cetera,
is.
so
I mean,
that's why.
is there any for like some of these boards, like, I mean, you wind up getting 2 people that could resign. Is there like an alternate person that could be on, that could go to the meetings?
Gotta be-
And try to get somebody new in to see how it operates?
Gotta be a bylaw or.
You know what I mean? That- yeah.
Bylaw change.
Yeah.
Let's just look at the makeup of what's in the bylaws, we may have to change it, okay?
So how many weeks? 1 week?
Make it 2 weeks, okay?
So that would be the 22nd, right? No. Yeah.
Courthouse?
No.
I'm sorry, Bob, I'm sorry, we should ask for a little input, because we have a Parks and Rec Commission, member here, on a different issue and stuff, so I apologize, we didn't recognize you as part of that, yeah, you know.
I agree with what you're saying on
Yeah.
that, because you know yourself, like, I'm the only one up there that does the whole routine up there.
Right.
And you know that,
Yeah.
cause you see me, every weekend
He's
or
the
whenever.
beach
you're
guy,
up there.
right?
But yeah, what you're saying is right, some of those people on there, all they do is go fishing, and that's where it ends with all that, or,
Yeah.
I don't even know what Fred, if he even comes up there to do anything, to
Yeah.
tell you the truth.
Again, my position is, again,
Yeah.
I see families up there,
Yeah.
I want someone to talk family programs,
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
we lack, we wanna build young kids, we wanna create a relationship between young boys and girls in Mock Chunk Lake Park, so they someday wanna be in those lifeguard chairs,
Yeah.
right, there's an
And
ulterior
you have
motive.
steady people that are up there, but you'd have to talk to Dave to find out who they are.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? I mean, I talk to them all the time, but I don't know their names or whatever. But yeah, check with Dave and he can give you the list of the ones that are there, all the time.
And we
too.
have all the family memberships and everything,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there is, if we wanted to make an adjustment, but again, that's, again, I just want to apologize that we didn't ask your input,
problem.
Okay.
Courthouse, first floor office renovations. For approval, authorize the county maintenance to move electrical wires, remove and replace carpeting, spackle and paint as needed in preparation for occupancy in the former adult probation office located in the courthouse.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Coroner, for approval and execution, bridge agreement between the County of Carbon and the Pennsylvania Department of Health for the electronic death reporting system. This agreement will utilize a different funding source. This replaces agenda item 22-556, which was ratified on October 13th, 2022.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Planning and Development for approval and execution, change order number 1, extending the completion date to the contract with Lehigh Asphalt Paving and Construction Company of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania for street improvements for years 2018, 19, and 20. Red Hill Road culvert replacement due to a change in the guide rail specifications on Red Hill Road and Long Run Road. The new contract deadline will be December 30th, 2020.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Vehicle fleet financing for adult probation. For ratification, proposal submitted by Enterprise Fleet Management of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for one additional vehicle under the Vehicle Fleet Financing and Maintenance of the Master Open-End Equity Lease Agreement approved April 27, 2017. Agenda number 17-159 and renewed on July 28, 2022. Agenda number 22-368. Vehicle monthly cost and full maintenance program with the term of 60 months for one 2023 Ford Police Interceptor utility at $993.96 per month.
Move to ratify.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Solicitors report?
Thank you. For the 525 Iron Street project in Lehighton, for approval and execution of change order number 3 to the contract with Boyle Construction Incorporated of Allentown, Pennsylvania, to include additional mold remediation for a total amount of $775, bringing the new contract total to $340,075.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Under Children and Youth, for approval and execution of a consulting service agreement with June Fisher to provide professional services to the Carbon County Children and Youth Services Agency at a cost of $100 per hour and $20 per hour travel time. The term of the agreement will commence on December 1st of 2022 and will continue until May 31, 2023, unless terminated by either party upon 20 days advance written notice.
I'll move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For the courts, for approval and execution of a contract with Donna Ritter of Ace Court Reporting, Weatherly, Pennsylvania, establishing a per diem court reporting services rate for stenographic services for the Court of Common Pleas. $175 for a half day up to 3 hours, $350 for a full day up to 8 hours, and over 8 hours billed at $50 an hour. And the agreement may be terminated by either party upon 30 days advance written notice.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For tax assessment, for approval and payment of a refund of tax year 2022 county real estate taxes for Joanne Sittler. Building was removed from the subject property, but the corrected bill reflecting the reduction from the assessed value from $1,600 to $800 was not issued before the taxpayer paid the bill in the discount period. This resulted in an overpayment of $98, so seeking a motion for a refund of $9.80.
Move to
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For the Tax Claim Bureau, for approval and execution of the 2023 printing service options and fee schedule with Infocon Corporation of Ebensburg, Pennsylvania, for tax claim printing services of annual notices as required by the Pennsylvania Real Estate Tax Sale Law, as per the agreement originally approved November 13, 2014. The services include processing of electronic certified mail, allowing for postal discounts and identification of forwarding addresses for taxpayers. The total estimated cost based on the 2022 payments is $5,983.81.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Likewise, for the Tax Claim Bureau, for adoption of ordinance number 2 of 2022 to establish the obligations and authorities of the Carbon County tax collectors and the Carbon County Tax Claim Bureau to waive additional charges for real estate taxes upon the taxpayer's strict compliance with all qualifying requirements of Pennsylvania Act 57 of 2022. This ordinance to become effective as of January 1st, 2023.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Parks and Recreation for approval and execution of a special activities agreement for the use of Mock Chunk Lake Park, along with a banner request submitted by Marian Catholic High School of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania, for its Polar Plunge to take place on January 28th, 2023, with an alternate date of February 4, 2023.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
And for approval and execution of a request for the use of the gazebo in Josiah White Park by Richard Lutz of Freeland, PA, for a wedding ceremony to take place on Saturday, November 9, 2023.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Nothing further for the solicitor's report.
Further business?
One item, you pass that to Jen, please. And that's simply, Jen, I'd ask that for the public record, that's a letter of endorsement that went in support of Andy Muller's nomination. If that could just get in the public record.
Commissioner reports? Commissioner Honor?
I do have one, and we did get a donation for the animal shelter, and I have it laying on my desk. I'll have to give the amount. I think it was quite a big amount of money, and I think it was in Trinity Church. But I'll get that to the media. I'll send it to you after the meeting. I just left it laying in there.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, one item, validated parking, right now 13 of 25 offices or departments are enrolled in the validated parking program. The county commenced on 1 September. Had 27 individuals who utilized it so far, and I raise it here simply for the fact is validated parking is authorized for attendance of public meetings. So if you're attending one of the Board of Commissioners meeting or any of our other official meetings, you can request 2 hours of validated parking. All right, that's all I have.
Commissioner Notstein?
Have nothing further today, meeting adjourned. Amy?
Good morning.
Morning.
I think it's, yeah, we're just before. our
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah, we're good.
Where do I begin? Okay, let's start with Andy Muller's resolution. So where was the recommendation going to? It sounded like they already,
Railway Age
Magazine.
Magazine, right? I think they've been in existence for about 100 years now, right?
but
And
they
each
already
year.
chose someone already based?
That is our, from what we understand, the selection has been made, but has not been made public.
Okay. Thank you. With regards to the budget, you say it's zero tax increase for next year. How did you guys end up balancing that budget with?
I think in my statement, we cut out wants and
Okay.
kept needs in.
But you
Yeah.
used, reserve funding, you talked about the
The
3.8
carryover
million deficit for the, but then you talked about 4.2,
Yeah.
numbers are not my friend.
Jeff would not allow us to use inappropriately so, but the budget is not balanced,
Budget is- Okay,
right? Revenues and expenditures have to equal, it doesn't. And what we are, for what the increases are in the budget, they're being absorbed in the excessive carryover. That has, that's my adjective, not Commissioner Nostin's, right? You know,
okay, so you're basically using the fund balance to help
yeah.
make things a
Yeah.
little bit easier.
And this is just the draft budget. We can reduce it further as much as we want. Now, we are limited on what we could increase it to if we had to, but we still have flexibility during, you know, as we allow the 20 days or so for the public to comment on it.
Okay, and, so what kind of challenges did you guys face when you were looking at all of this whole thing?
Personnel was one of the
Personnel,
biggest,
yeah,
that was the biggest one.
Yeah, I think the wages outweighed,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like the other part of the budget, you know.
I mean, no
It-
doubt,
it's-
the prison, significant, right? I would
Yeah.
say the medical and even the food, a
Yeah.
significant increase.
Oh,
We
yeah,
did a higher
yeah.
quality of food because we weren't getting our bang for the buck
Yeah.
up there. So that's notable up there, that increase. But I will tell you, looking at the individual departments and row offices, they did pretty darn good. There wasn't much additional fat beyond that 1.3 million I described, right? They just keep building upon that. But there were no really excessive requests at all.
No,
that
no,
range.
and it's like I said, I think everybody chipped in,
Yeah.
and I think even everybody was focusing on the wages, I think, to try to get that up, so that'll be a pretty lengthy discussion maybe next week.
So, you said the salaries will be coming next week with all that kind of stuff. Does that mean the salary study has come back and all that, you're,
Finalizing the classifications of employees, et cetera, trying to compare and narrowing the big challenge is narrowing of the pay scales, grouping together the job descriptions of all the employees, where they properly fit in the scale. What is gonna be our main, base rate for supervisory, non-supervisory, and trying to reduce the amount of grades. It's been challenging, to say the least. I think, as much as we complained about Evergreen, they did give us a good basis of salaries, et cetera, to which to go off of. But we still had to go, basically, HR has gone through every, and I know Rocky did quite a bit, went through every position. When you have 400 positions and how many different job description, maybe 300 different job descriptions in there, and trying to put them on the same scale or where they should be on the grade listing, when you're trying to narrow it down and make it simpler for future boards. And so, yeah, we should have a pretty good handle, and probably next week we'll be adopting the scale and presenting the elected officials and the department heads with where they fall on the new scales.
Yeah, Evergreen Evergreen got us into the red zone. Our HR is getting us across the goal line.
Yeah, I know.
There's no doubt. The amount of time and effort they put in is just incredible.
And I myself, I was like skeptical of Evergreen. And actually partway through, they wanted my salary scale, what I worked up, and I refused to give it to them because I think I asked them to do a salary study for them, not us to do a salary study for them. And I would almost say that I was, should I say, partially wrong about it, because they did have very points. I mean, we did increase some here, and there were some that I thought would have had more money, and I was wrong on it. But then there were some that it should have been increased. So, I mean, I was the worst skeptic of Evergreen, and it wouldn't have never got done without them, never. I mean, they got us like that close.
Yeah.
It was like a little bit, I mean, they sent in, I mean, everybody had the survey. They sent their jobs, what they currently do. We provided them with everything. I mean, and like I said, they analyzed everything, and I was the one that said, let's do it ourselves, you know, keep going. And the process that was a year and a half, I'm hoping everybody likes it. And like I said, there's some that aren't gonna, but that's how it is. And I always said, it's not gonna be corrected in 1 year, but I tell you what, we're very close. I mean, there's gonna be very little adjustment, I think, in the next year. I mean, I'm actually like tickled pink over what they've done for us.
So I think we could help ensure there'll be little change over the
Oh,
next year,
yes.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
You know, between now
Yeah.
and next, you know, January of 2024, we're in good shape to keep it on track.
Okay. With regards to the first floor office renovation, you talk about, it says, preparing the adult probation office for occupancy. Is there a department that's going to be going in there, or is it just the
We're looking at it,
preparation with
yeah.
parts?
That is not determining what's going there. It's just that there's a floor that isn't leveled. When you go in, it drops down 2 inches, and then you go over and it goes back up 2 inches. So we're gonna straighten that out before we even determine what's happening with the renovation project.
I asked for this motion because the damn office has been
Yeah.
sitting for a year and a half, empty when people need space. I wanted to get us all on the same page, especially since we took it out of the project and giving it to our maintenance people, which will save us money anyway. I
And
mean,
get it
they're
done
capable. Well, hopefully, it depends on the snow this winter. It's a good project for this winter, but if we get in a lot of snow, it's gonna take longer because they'll be out shoveling snow, plowing, et cetera. So hopefully, my goal is to see it completed by the end of February. Go from there.
And on the last motion with regards to the local tax collection law, that's not the same Act 57 you
No,
referred to.
ours is 2020, that is 2022.
Okay,
Right.
and then, so this one, what does this mean for the taxpayers that you just passed?
Yeah. All right, yes. Thank you for allowing for that clarification, but this was actually enacted by the state legislature to allow for those situations where a tax bill is sent but not received when a property is transferred, and there sometimes in the overlap a tax bill is misdirected or not received by the new owner. So this allows for the owner to submit an affidavit that they did not receive a tax bill together with proof of the transfer into their name, and if they comply with those requirements, and they're relatively manageable requirements, then any interest penalties will be exonerated, and it will just be the face amount of the bill. So.
And Amy, I will say, I actually just had a call about 2 weeks ago from a individual in Mahoning Township who presented this challenge, who bought a home, and through the transfer process, you know, there's just a gap, and didn't get a tax bill. And
And one last thing, Commissioner Knudsen, you actually had talked about it, the aging office, I know Palmerton is looking at using that space for the police, so what are your plans then in regards to?
Well, we're not being thrown out, let's put it this way, but they would like the use of that floor. They want to expand their police department, so I'd say we started looking for an alternate facility for aging. They have been in need of additional space to begin with, like everyone else there. If you go down to and look at that office, if you've ever been there, it's not the best layout or anything. It's on the 3rd floor, and you know, little bit of, not much of a parking issue there, not like Jim Thorpe naturally, but, yeah, we're just, no, I would say at this time, in talking to the borough manager, the current borough manager, and who'll be leaving soon, but, there's no rush, they're just not just throwing us out, they're giving us time to look around and come up with another site.
And their project might be, in fact, I actually even talked to them yesterday about I was down there. And it's like, I mean, they need room, we need room, and that might not accommodate to us anyway within the future. So I think it's gonna be one of those things, I don't think it's gonna be at the end of the year next year, but probably the following year, we're gonna have to find something within that timeline.
And I'll always beat a dead horse, because you can't kill a dead horse. 410 Center Avenue.
Yeah.
But that is your above the fold, right?
Thank you, gentlemen, that's all I have.
Good.
Good.
Okay.
All right.